Hi, my name is Roberto Guzman. I'm 14 years old and I'm a freshman at Chino High School.
Hi, my name is Bella. I'm 16 years old. I go to Chino High School.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm 19 years old. And when I was around 13 or 14, my parents got divorced. I started going towards guys for love because I was so hurt by my parents' divorce.
I lived with my mom until I was 12 years old, and then I moved out here to California because my dad got out of prison. When growing up, I used to, come home to my mom, nodding out off of, heroin or pills or something.
Growing up, I grew up in church, but that didn't mean that everything was okay. My family was broken. My dad was never around. My mom was always in and out of my life.
I used to watch her get beat by my stepdad when he got home because he didn't want to see her nodding out. And then he would beat me and I would have to cry myself to sleep like every night.
I started getting into drugs, and there was one time where I got so high at a park where I don't remember how I got home.
There's been times like on Father's Day when I see all my friends like writing stuff for their dads, when it's just really made me feel like bad about myself and feel like this isn't how family should be.
My mom would just sell my things, everything she could get her hands on, any type of like electronic, anything. She would just sell it and buy drugs with it.
When I moved in with my mom, we moved to Santa Fe Springs, and it was a really culture shock because it was a whole different city. I was the new kid for the first time, and that really turned me to rebel against my mom because I was hurt that I thought it was her fault because of the divorce. I thought it was her fault that we had to move away.
There's been times when I remember coming home to my mom and she would be so drunk and she'd be chasing my dad with a knife, and I was in kindergarten, so that always stuck with me. And my mom would just be drunk and she'd be yelling at everyone. Inside, there's so much hate that has built up towards her, and there's times where I don't even want to have a relationship with her anymore.
One time I tried to commit suicide. I tried to take pills, and I felt really like there was nothing here for me anymore. Like there was no reason to live because my parents were divorced. Like my family was slowly falling apart, and I felt like I had nobody.
Nobody knew what was going on at home, but on the outside I always had a smile, but on the inside I was so lost and I was hurting and I was broken.
One Christmas that I had got a bicycle that I really wanted, and it was like 2 weeks after she had took me with her to go sell it, and she sold it in front of me, and she told me that it was broken, but it worked perfectly.
I remember there's been nights where I've cried myself to sleep and just wanting my father to be there. And
I was doing drugs, I was smoking pot, I was drinking alcohol, I was attending parties. I've seen what drugs do to people. I've seen how they affect families, how they affect mine, how they put my dad in prison for 9 years. I was living with my mom since I was 3.
There was a custody battle during the divorce, and my mom, she used to be very abusive to me physically, mentally, emotionally, and they used that against her, and that's how my dad got custody of me. When my mom would abuse me, it was like I was numb to it. It was like I couldn't really feel anything because it was so normal to me in a sense. At first it would hurt me because that's my mom and she gave birth to me, but after so many things that she said, it was like, oh well, I'm gonna move out anyways, I'm not gonna be here for that long.
There's still times where I feel bitter and I feel unforgiveness towards my parents, but then I came to Victory Outreach and God got a hold of my heart and He changed my life. He gave me a calling and a purpose. He gave me joy. He healed my broken heart, and He became my Father, and He has never let me down, and I know if He did it for me, then He can do it for you.
It was one day that we passed by Victory Outreach, and we attended service, and the message spoke to me. And, you know, I was still, you know, smoking pot, drinking alcohol, but it was one time that I came to the gang night and I was saved, and I seen God, and I witnessed God, and it was like a feeling, and I know that He can do the same thing for others because He did the same thing for me.
My dad, he came to the church and he started making me come, and then eventually I started coming on my own, and now I'm able to be a Bible study leader. I'm able to say that I'm healed from every hurt that has taken place in my life, that I can love unconditionally, that I could forgive like there's no tomorrow.
And now I've been at Victory Outreach for about 4 years now, and God has just been blowing my mind. He's allowed me to sing and do worship at conventions and at conferences, and even out here at my local church. And it's just been crazy to see how God can build up someone who's been so lost and so broken and raise them up to be like called and to be chosen. And it's just a great feeling knowing that God has chosen me and He has called me to lead His people.
I thank God for letting me be here talking, and for Him to save me and my dad, and I hope He saves more people in the future.
The biggest thing I'm grateful to God for is that He forgave me, because it was a tough decision for me to even forgive myself. So the fact that He forgave me and I was able to learn to forgive myself from all the past hurts, all the past things that I've done, and just being able to see my family get saved.
I thank God for His keeping power. I've never smoked, I've never drank, I've never been to a party. He's always kept me in the palm of His hands. He's always kept me safe. And even when there's been temptations around me, God has always been my outlet.
God can move through ways like you've never seen before. He can move through messages, He can move through people. He can just show you the way.